Hi, this is Devi and welcome to today's Yin Yoga practice where we'll do a series of wall postures to begin and then some nice easy forward bending and then a little exploration of cat-tail pose or a modified cat-tail pose. This is a really gentle practice for anyone who wants to bring some calm to the nervous system, some relaxation, a good choice for beginners as well. So we will get started in legs up the wall pose and no props are needed for today's practice. See you there in a second. And go ahead and spread the arms out in a T. And notice how your breath is. Feeling the breath expand and deflate in the belly, in the ribs, in the lower back. If the stretch in the legs here is intense, if you're more limited in your range of motion here, you might feel a lot of intensity, then I'll encourage you to scoot away from the wall a bit so that you don't have so much intensity, so you can just soften here. And let the muscles of your face be soft and relaxed. And release any tension in your hands. Relax the jaw and the tongue. And feel the soles of your feet. Relaxing the soles of the feet. Feel the backs of your legs and maybe a gentle stretch back there in the backs of the legs. And notice what you feel in the lower back, which might also be experiencing some stretching here. And from the lower back, feeling up to the middle back and the upper back. And up into the neck. And now taking the next deep breath right into the heart center, expanding into the chest, expanding into the heart and the shoulders and the whole upper torso. And as you exhale from the heart, feel the energy expand out the arms, out all the way to the hands and the fingers, and spread them out. So get a little bit of energy here, spreading out through the hands. You can lift your hands off the ground a couple inches, and now also flex the feet. So you're pressing up through the soles of your feet to the ceiling, and everything is reaching, spreading out. Inhale here. And as you exhale, bend your knees and hug them into your chest, or just use the wall or the furniture, whatever you're against here, to feel the back of your torso lengthen. Keep on breathing into the back body. All right, so from here, come into your choice of a groin stretching pose at the wall. So 3 choices are, number 1, butterfly. And you'll notice for me, the feet open up. For most people, the feet open up to some degree, and please let that happen if you need to get the groin stretch here. So don't press the soles together if it takes the groin stretch away. Choice number 2 is frog at the wall with the soles of the feet on the wall. And the position of the feet can vary greatly. Some people will be up here, some people's toes will point out, some people will be way out here. Some people like to have the legs somewhat straight, not really at these like right angles. Totally up to you. Toes can angle outward or upwards or anywhere in between. And for a lot of people scooting away from the wall helps a lot with getting the right stretch. Again, the inner thigh, inner groin. So the third choice is dragonfly pose. You can be all the way up to the wall, which is more common, but some people like to have distance from the wall. So 3 minutes, and dragonfly or something between dragonfly and frog could be your option. Enjoy. The arms can be wherever they feel right. They could rest on the ground out in a T or up over your head, or if the extra weight of the hands and arms inside of the legs helps you, go ahead and use it there if it feels good. And you might still be shimmying around like I am, just to get just the right distance from the wall. And that's important. It's something you should take the time to do so that you get just the right angles for your body. Notice the rhythm of your breath. And that's 3 minutes. So carefully, slowly bring your legs back in, knees bending, and the knees coming in toward the chest once again. And now this time, real slow, lift your head up toward your knees. And then bring the head back down to the ground. Taking some windshield wipers at the wall, so your feet will come to shoulder width or a little wider. You can play around with the exact distance as you spread your arms out, and then just let the knees come within your range of motion, one side to the other. And if you want to scoot farther away from the wall to make this more doable, please do. Your body will tell you. A few more times. Start to turn the head the opposite way of your knees. Knees go to the right, head left, and then knees left, head right. Good. Bring it back to the center now and figure 4 pose at the wall. So find the distance from the wall that feels best to you. Some people like to be very close to the wall, which brings your knees into more flexion, brings your hips into more flexion. Some people like to be a little farther, myself included, to where the knees might be at more of a 90-degree angle against the wall, or anywhere in between. And we're going to have the right ankle over the left knee to begin. 3 minutes on each side for this luscious figure 4 at the wall pose. As always, you can play around with the angles, crossing the knees closer to each other or farther away. The foot on the wall doesn't have to protrude straight out from the wall. It could be at some kind of angle or higher up. Your target area, the stretch you're trying to feel with all these choices, with all these angles, is the buttocks on the right side, the right glutes. Staying connected to your body and to what you're feeling in your body. Where is the sensation? And it might be more than just the glutes. There might be some lower back sensation. There might be some inner thigh sensation. And of course, the sensation of just being here, having a foot on the wall or the furniture and having the back of your body resting on this earth. The clothes against your skin, the air touching the parts of the skin that are exposed. And that's 3 minutes. Slowly change to the other side. Take your time with the transition. Notice what you feel along the way. And 3 minutes beginning now, second side. Bringing full awareness to your physical experience. What's stretching? What's touching the ground? How does the breath feel as it enters and exits this body? Release the pose. And roll slowly onto one side and pause on that side, curled up into a ball. Rest here. And feel your breath. And feel into your body after doing the sequence of wall postures. Slowly come up with a rounded spine and climb into child's pose. Which might feel very nice after having the legs up the wall for a while. Feel free to put fists under your forehead or a block under your forehead, if that makes it more comfortable. And feel your breath here in child's pose. Feel the breath spreading into the back, from shoulder to shoulder, from hip to hip, into the sides and back of the ribs. Good, and now coming up to elbows and knees. And you could do what we're going to do on hands and knees, but there are enough of us with wrist stuff going on these days, and I'm one of them. I just always like to drop onto my elbows for these kinds of things. To circle the spine is what we're going to do. So the shoulders and hips go to the right, and then they come back toward the heels. And they both go over to the left and forward. And so keep on circling in this one direction. And you could turn the head toward the direction you're circling or away, or just experiment with having some mobility in the head here and some mobility in the spine. So that rather than a stiff spine moving around, it's a fluid spine that arcs and curves out to one side, and then arcs and curves back to the other side. We're going to go in this direction one more time. And then, once you get to the front, change the direction of your circles. Hands can be like mine, clasped or palms down or whatever you like. Circling nice and slow. Getting this lateral stretching of the spine from the tailbone all the way up to the neck. One more circle in this direction. And come back to a neutral spine. And now wagging the tail, slow wag to the right and to the left. And now back to the right, and turn the right ear toward the tail you're wagging, and then the other side. So you're tilting the head, you're creating a C curve of the spine, a banana shape, side to side, left and right. And you can experiment here with if it's more of a looking over the shoulder at your tail, maybe that feels good on your neck. Or if it's more of a tilt where it's like the ear and the nose continues to point toward the ground. Side to side, 2 more times on each side like this. Great, and bringing it back to the center. And now come to a sitting position for modified cattail pose, or for some the cattail pose. So the right leg is bent under you and the left leg comes forward. So the left knee dips toward the earth. And see about, if you bring your right hand on the ground, can you grab a hold of this left foot? And once you're here, it starts to get confusing, right and left. But the leg that's on the bottom, that's the foot you want to try and grab behind you. And this might be enough sensation for you as we go for this stretch of the quads, the front of the thigh on the right leg. And if this is too much for you, if the foot and hand do not want to meet each other, then a strap, a belt, whatever you've got around the foot to help that to happen. Some of you will enjoy this more coming down onto an elbow. And some of you will enjoy it more lying all the way on the ground. And from here you can begin to bend this knee if you want more sensation. So if you have enough sensation, stay where you are with your body propped on the elbow if you need to, or whatever works. Or you can move it toward a twist if you want more sensation by tucking this right shoulder under, keeping the left shoulder moving back toward the ground. And now this foot that's behind me, being held in my hand or in a strap, can start to come farther back, which I don't want to do so much with a kicking motion because I want to keep my muscles relaxed in a yin way. So I'm going to do it instead with this sort of shimmy of my hip coming back. I actually have to point my belly toward the ground for a moment just to get that leg farther back where I want it. And now you might have your knee or foot or both suspended in the air like mine. You might want to put a pillow or two under them if that's uncomfortable for you. Or if you just feel like you're teetering between, which is what happens to me. You can't get both the shoulder and the knee down. It's okay if they're not touching the floor, but if you just feel like it would feel better to have support, then use your pillows as you wish. And we're already into our 3 minutes here for some version of cattail pose. Support under the head can make quite the difference here as well, a pillow or a block if you're going for that twist. Sometimes the body can be mostly doing the pose, but the head can be hanging out in space in an uncomfortable way. So the prop can be under the head, under the knee, or under the foot, or both. Or if you're lucky enough to be near a bed or a sofa, this foot or knee can be supported on the furniture. Or the wall, for that matter. So the first phase of the pose on the side is for the quads, and then if you open it back into the twist, then your second additional target area is the spine. So there's two things going on here. Stay connected to your breath. Slowly releasing, come back to the center and pause at the center on your back with your knees resting against each other and your feet wider than your hips. So if you're on a mat, maybe as wide as your mat. Spread your arms out and feel into the spine, feel into the quads on the right side. Feel the movement of energy inside as a result of that posture. And moving it onto the second side. So you might stay on your back and flip the right knee over to come into that cattail, or if you're doing the more upright position and not getting into the twist so much, then start here, leaning on your left hand with your right knee on the ground in front of your left. So this is where folks can get confused. It's not like this, it's this way. So your bottom leg, your left leg, is the one you want to be holding. Right hand to left foot. And you might be here. You might have the strap around the foot, which I'll show you in case you couldn't see it very well on the other side. It just looks something like that. You might be down on the elbow or resting on your side like so, a pillow under the head or this arm under the head. And finally, maybe coming into the twist in some sort of a fashion. I will show you my preferred fully propped version, which is pillow under the head and one under the knee and one under the foot. So I called it a dual purpose pose to stretch the front of the thigh and to twist the spine, but there's actually a third purpose as well, which is a back bend. So this is a back bending twist. And it's an interesting energy in this pose. It's not the most like drop in deep to relaxation kind of thing to be in a back bending twist, right? And that can be said of many back bends. It's a little more of a open, aware energy and even a little bit of cautious energy in back bends, which can be due to the sensation of compression versus the sensation of tension. We're working with bones and joints more directly than we are with our forward bends. So what's going on with your energy, whatever it is in this pose, be present with it. And know that when we get to the rebound after the pose, there might be quite a rush of relaxation that moves into the space you create. Good. Slowly come out onto your back. And now for a 1 minute rebound. Any comfortable position on your back. Sprawl out if you like. Keep the knees bent if you like. Close the eyes and let the body be still as you feel completely and deeply into what's happening inside as a result of the posture. The front of the thigh, the front of the hip, the spine after twisting side to side in a back bending twist. And slowly bring the knees into the chest, please. Hug the arms around the legs, gently rock side to side. And roll over to your right side. Please come into a sitting position for half butterfly pose with your right leg forward, left leg bent. So we're stretching now into the hamstrings. And this pose, this is the typical way to do it with the knee bent like this, but I'll show you on the other side. Some people really enjoy this pose a lot better with the leg turned this way or even crossed over like this in the half shoelace position, it's called. So it's for this leg, for the hamstrings, the one that's extended. Choose your weapon, so to speak. Choose your favorite pose and come forward. If you haven't tried those other variations today, I will encourage you to try them out. This one, it presses the thigh down in a way that can be a more satisfying hamstring stretch for some people. And this one tilts the pelvis in a way that also can be a more satisfying hamstring stretch. And I've been playing around with this one myself more lately, and I didn't used to like it or think it did much for me, but partly it's because I don't actually go very far. I feel kind of stuck because I'm used to coming a certain amount down to my leg, which satisfies my ego, I guess, my yogi ego. And I had to realize I'm not actually stuck in my bones. I feel quite a good hamstring stretch here. And it's just that I have to get used to mentally not coming as close to the leg as I'm used to. So I've been working with this one. And I can also get a more satisfying experience here on some days with a pillow under the thigh. Under the hips. So this variation is called the half shoelace. Something that can happen for some people in this variation is that the knee starts to bend backward too much, the knee of your straight leg. So something under that, a rolled piece of clothing or a rolled towel or blanket can help, or just another pillow. And slowly come up, release the pose, change sides. And again, I'm just demonstrating it using this variation today, but when I say we're stretching into the hamstrings, it's up to you. This variation called half frog, this variation called half butterfly, or this one called half shoelace. Any of them are all fair game, and it's not about achieving this. And some of you, your knees, your hips are never going to do this because of your bones. A lot of people have that in their hips. And so if that's you, don't force it, especially if you're not getting that hamstring stretch. However, if you happen to do something that maybe looks like this, the knee is in the air, and you come forward and it's like feels good and you're getting the hamstring stretch, then do it. It's not about this knee. It's not about what this leg is doing. It's about what you're feeling in this leg. And slowly releasing the pose. Coming onto your back now. Resting on the back. Making your way into a final relaxation position. So any comforts that you would like to have, a bolster under the knees, a blanket on top of you, extra clothes, something soft under your head. And spread yourself out, taking up as much room as you'd like. So that the energy can flow through your hips and your shoulders and your spine. And for one more minute, continue to rest in stillness with the breath as it moves inside. So the stillness is contrasted by this expansion and deflation of the breath, of all of the parts of the body involved in inhaling and exhaling. And following that process, following each inhale and each exhale, and all the parts of the body that move with the inhale and the exhale, following with your mind the movement of your ribs, your diaphragm at the base of your ribs, the belly as it expands to make space for the diaphragm, the way the spine moves with each inhale and each exhale. And the breath might be quite refined, quite subtle. This is not about deep breathing as much as bringing your full attention to the breath as it is, in this relaxed, calm state at the close of your yin practice. And now taking a deeper breath into your belly and into your heart. And as you exhale, gently expand out into your fingers and your toes, stretch out into your arms and legs, maybe the arms up over the head, and a big yawning kind of inhale and exhale. Go ahead and bend the knees and roll over to one side. And pressing up and make your way into a comfortable seat. Support yourself how you'd like to. And take a few moments to find an upright spine and to sit in a position where you can feel the energy that's happening inside of your body. After this practice, notice the space inside. Notice what's happening everywhere between the tailbone and the crown of the head. And now take your hands to your belly and chanting Om 3 times from the belly and then the heart and then the third eye. So first from the belly. And you can open your eyes to watch this gesture that I'm going to make, which is just opening as we Om and closing for the last part of the Om. So here we go. Inhaling. And now the heart, so palms together in front of the heart. Same thing, opening out, so we inhale first. And now the third eye, so lift the hands up. Inhale. And that's our practice. Namaste. Please hit the thumbs up if you liked this video. Please subscribe to my channel and check out my latest Yin Yoga video. I hope this practice has left you feeling more calm and more spacious. If you have any questions or comments for me, please leave them in the comments below. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.